how to create a product launch marketing plan. I'm excited to dive in this because none of the things I'm going to teach you ever have anything to do with what I call link barfing, which is what most of the internet does whenever they promote, right? They just post their crap all over the place. I'm going to show you in this video how we actually go launch products that have done 5, 6, and even 7 figures on launch. Let's dive in. Now, the first time I ever went and launched a product, this is what happened. I built the product, I got it out there. You probably resonate with this as well, by the way. You get the product out, you're excited, you spent all this time, whether or not you made it, you assembled it, and you put it together and you're stoked for it. I created a Facebook page and I invited a few of my friends, and that was it, okay? That was it. There wasn't a launch. That's not a launch. I think my mom bought it and I did just to see if it worked, okay? That was it. That's not a product launch. One of the biggest things that people mess up is the launch. And just like the entrepreneur spends time creating the product, a marketer needs to spend time creating the launch, or there won't be one. So let's dive into these methods. All right, step number 1 in launching a product, especially on the internet, is you need to do exactly what Hollywood does. They go out and they find a date, a time, a location, and an availability for their product, and they make it publicly known way before it's out there. Meaning, you're sitting in a movie theater, right, and that dude with the insanely deep voice, apparently that's the only job he can do, goes, "Coming next summer," right? And he's got whatever, the date, the time, the location, box office seats, and it's the title and the big stinger, boom, that's it. But what they've actually done is they are training the audience and the public on when this thing is coming up. If you do not do the same, you will not have a launch. It is corner and keystone and paramount to every single launch that you put out that the public is aware of your launch's date, time, location, and availability way before they can buy it. It's one of the easiest ways to create a launch. If you do nothing else and just educate people on those 4 things, you now have a launch. It might not be an amazing launch, but still, it's more than just saying, built a Facebook page, anyone want to go buy, right? That's not a launch. If you just, at the bare minimum, just say public, right? Future dream buyers, date, time, location, availability, bam, that right there starts to actually create a launch in the truest sense of it. And if you don't, they're not going to know what day to look forward to and anticipate. The power of anticipation is massive. There's a study that done that was shown that, okay, let's say I love Disneyland. All right, I just do. I love Disneyland. I am a closet Harry Potter freak. I love that stuff. It's awesome. I love it, all right? And did you know it's been shown that you can have literally measured just as much joy, excitement, and anticipation, happiness, leading up to a trip to Disney as you do on the trip of Disney. You actually double joy if you know when the date time. Think about that. Think about Christmas, a holiday, something like that, your birthday. The week of, especially when you're a kid, remember that? Just the anticipation and excitement, date, time, location, availability. It's not always your birthday, right? Date, time. Does that make sense? Just leading up to it, you actually get huge amounts of joy that actually can last longer than the event itself. Massive. You want the same kind of effect to those who are going to buy from you. I call it treating your launch like a holiday. It is not always Christmas. It is not always your birthday. There needs to be a cutoff date of when your thing is no longer available as well. So that's the first part of this, okay? I recommend going 2 to 3 months out. I have to wait 2 to 3 months to sell? I mean, you can start selling now, but you want to create a launch, right? You want to create a launch. One of my mentors asked, or he said, I always try to remember who said something, but he said, what's the difference between a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure launch? Time. That's it. Biggest mistake you'll ever make is to finish a product on Tuesday and launch it on Wednesday. That's not a launch. And we need you to create a launch. Push back the launch. Create time so that you have time to build pressure and excitement and educate the market about your future product. Step number 2. Best thing you can do once people start to know about that date, time, location, once you've chosen it, plan content. Very simple step here. Just start creating content about it. So this is actually what I do is I go and I choose the date and I start planning backwards. And I go, what if we put out a piece of content right there? Whether it's a podcast, a video, right? Or if we do some blog post, I've done voicemail drops. I just start educating, I create pieces of content that start referencing back to and referring to the fact that something's coming down the line. Are you ready? You ready for, and wow, what is it? And not even Hollywood closes the loop on their previews. They're constantly opening the loop saying, right, here comes the next piece, right? A little bit about the antagonist, a little bit about protagonist, a little bit about, availabilities, a little bit about, and that's all they're doing. Opening loops, curiosity, anticipation. That's it. That's a marketer's job. Your job is noise as a marketer. You are a noise creator as a marketer. Easiest way to do that, once you've chosen date, start to develop and design content leading up to the actual thing to guide people to the launch. Third step, let me tell you a quick story. Really famous guy named David Ogilvy. He was like the Michael Jordan of advertising. I think he was actually called the father of advertising in the early 1900s. I believe he died in 1999. And he, can you imagine having a title called the father of advertising? Dove soap came to him. They were not soap then. And Dove came to him and said, hey, we got this new product called Dove. Look at the cool shape, look how it's created. And he's like, no, I don't want that. They begged for David Ogilvy to help advertise it. He's like, oh, he's reluctant about it. First thing he did is he started creating these ads. That's how Dove soap came about, by the way. I love these stories. You guys ever seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding? And he's like, tell me a word that's Greek. Or tell me a word, I'll tell you it's Greek. I feel that way with marketing. All right, you can totally cut that out, never mind. Dove soap, though, became a thing because of David Ogilvy. And what he did is, the first thing he did is he created story, right? He created content. And he attached himself to larger noise. Let me give you an example. What he did is he started running these ads that said, it had a bar of soap crossed out, and then it said Dove underneath it. He did a really interesting thing. He attached himself to some noise. Now, by saying he wasn't soap, it's not soap, it's Dove. But wait a second, it is soap though, right? Yeah, it is. But he just differentiated himself from the entire soap market by saying, no, we're not like any of them. It's not soap. This is Dove. I have their ads stuck in my head. You actually can see it on YouTube. And it's old black and white and saying, you know, take the Dove test, right? And put soap on half of your face and put Dove on the other. Notice how creamy the Dove side is and dry the other side is. And what he did, though, is he attached himself to larger noise. That's the third step, guys. So you have a date, time, location. The second step is you actually are creating content. But the third is to attach to larger noise. Attach to noise that's bigger than yourself. And David Ogilvy did it with Dove by saying, we're not soap, we're Dove. Are they soap? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're soap. But by creating that question in people's mind, the mind cannot handle unanswered questions. It has a very hard time with that. And so what he did is he basically said, did you know you should be comparing the two of us? Dove versus soap? Did you know you should be comparing the both of us? I didn't know I should be comparing Dove versus soap. It's the same thing with those Mac versus PC commercials. Mac was a nobody when that happened, right? Steve Jobs was like, did you know you should be comparing us to PC? Dove had no market share. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not getting too deep with this on here, but he's like, hey, we're not soap, we're Dove. And what that did is it attached him to larger than he was noise so that his launch went further and faster than he had resources to create. Very clever. Before I dive into the last two steps on how to make a cool launch on the internet, please subscribe. Subscribe, it's not hard. It's the least amount of effort I could ever ask from you to just scroll your mouse to that big red rectangle and push it. Push it, right next to it there's a bell button. If you click that, we put videos out every single day. And they're like this, which is better than most people's paid courses. Not sorry. And if you could, in the comments, please let me know, what is your favorite ad? What's been your favorite ad? Like Mac versus PC, right? You've got soap versus Dove. You got Sprint versus Verizon, which I still don't know who's winning yet. Does that make sense? What has been the two favorite pit against each other ads that you've seen that are out there? Put them down in the comments. These are super fun to watch. All right, now that you have had a date, time, and location availability, and you have said, hey, here's a bunch of content leading on up to it, and you've connected yourself to noise that's larger than you, so it pulls you farther than you could sprint. Next thing to do, influencer shoutouts. So easy. A lot of people just need content. You know, there's a lot of blogs, they'll just put you up because they're looking to fill space. They're like, oh, we need someone to make some content on Thursday, right? And if you can swoop on in, it's very, very easy to get a lot of shout outs from people for very cheap. Instagram influencers are starting to get more educated, but for a while they had no idea the power they had, right? When they had like 500,000 followers, you could pay like $50 and they'll do a shout out. That's insane distribution, okay? Influencer shout outs are one of the biggest hacks to creating a really massive internet launch, and it's really, really simple on you, by the way. It does take some time to not just create the relationship and actually get them to say yes. However, it is one of those things that pays off massive dividends if you take the time to do it. The day of the launch has come. What do? This is one of the easiest things to keep the launch going and keep the buzz alive. Guys, people are going to talk about your product. They're going to talk about your launch on the internet. They're going to talk about whether or not it was good. What you need to do and what you need to do is start collecting those testimonials and republish them. In step number 2, I had you go create a whole bunch of content leading up to the launch. Keep the content going. Now the launch is over. Don't stop talking. But the easiest way to keep talking is to find people's reactions and have that be the piece of content that you put out. There's huge, cool case studies about this, that testimonials will bring in just as many sales as the amount of effort and energy the marketer made in the beginning to get all the sales that they did. Very key, massive hack, and you're welcome, by the way, just gave you a raise. I like chocolate chip cookies. But that is one of the easiest ways to go do it. Find ways to continually be reaching out. How did you like it? What did you not like about it? That gives you a chance to improve it, right? What kind of result has it given you? This is a very easy way for you to, again, keep that content machine rolling, and you don't have to keep staying in the creative seat, because it gets tiring after a while for sure. Got a free gift for you. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com. There's a presentation there showing to you my 3 most profitable campaigns. We once did 16 campaigns to fill a single event, kind of like in our studio that I'm in now. 16, but not all of them were profitable. What I did is I found the top 3 most profitable campaigns over the last 3 years. You're gonna see what they are. I'm gonna share my screen and show you what they are. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com. The link is in the description.